Well, hey y'all, today we are going to make Miss Brenda Gant's onion casserole. Now, when I watched her make this last year, and I was a little skeptical, but if Miss Brenda says it is good, it is good. And let me tell y'all, this is delicious. And I've fixed it several times since then. And you know, last week when I was painting Sarah's house and we did a little garden tour, and I said Voltaire said the enemy of good. Let's see, the enemy of perfect is good, and that is so true. I wanted to fix this the last couple times I've had time to do this because you have to saute these onions for a while. I like to cook them outside so the smell, you know, sauteing one onion in the house is not a big deal. I'm going to do 4. It's going to take a while. That's going to be, anyway, so I'm going to do this today in the garage. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to show you the actually sauteing those because the light is terrible out there and the acoustics are worse. And I can't cook them outside because the wind is blowing like all get out. But I'm going to tell you that, and I will walk you through it, y'all, and it'll make sense. As good as I can make sense of anything. But I have 4, I'm going to use 4 Vidalia onions. They're in our grocery stores now, and I love them. They're just sweet. You could just eat them like an apple. But I'm going to chop up 4 of these, and then I'll get back with you, and I'll show you how big they're going to be. Now, I've tried everything. When you're cutting this many onions, I have tried everything from having a wet wash rag on the thing and all kinds of stuff. But y'all, this is the best way. If I have my contacts in, my eyes don't burn. This is the best way to cut up onions. I got my ATV goggles here, so there we go. I'm gonna cut up these onions, and then we'll get back together, and I'll show you how big I cut them, and then I'll tell you what else I'm gonna do to them. So I'll see y'all back here in a little bit. All right, y'all. I'm down to the last half, and what I did, I cut my onions. You know, the roots on the bottom. I cut them in half, and then I'm just going to take that top part off, and I'm going to save these and freeze these, and the next time I make bone broth, I will put those in the Instapot with all the bones. Now, you don't slice, this is my preference, don't slice them real thin. You want them to be pretty chunky, and they'll hold up better. See, I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, I'll show you here. So, you just want them to be pretty chunky. And that's it. Now, I'm going to cook these in the electric skillet because it's larger than my 10-inch iron skillet. So it'll hold more of these, and I can cook them on low until they just cook down to just onion goodness. Now, I'm going to use avocado oil because it really doesn't have much flavor. And I'm liking to use this these days. And I'm going to use a little clarified butter, some ghee that I made a couple of weeks ago. But you can use your favorite cooking oil if you like Wesson, corn oil, sunflower, that, you know, doesn't matter. I'm going to put a little pat of butter. If I wasn't using this ghee, I'd put a little pat of butter or so in there. Alrighty, y'all. I'm going to go get my iron skillet fired up. I'm going to take this thing off my head. And I'm going to get to cooking these beautiful Vidalia onions. So, I'll see y'all when it's the next thing to do. Okay, we're going to see how it goes out here. The acoustics and the light and everything, it's not good. But, got my iron skillet, and I put about a tablespoon of the avocado oil, and about, you know, those flat spoons that we use. I used a good one of them in there, so it's about a tablespoon. I heated it up to 350, and I put a tester onion in there. Too hot. I lowered it down. It's between about 250. I'm going to play with that. You know I am. But I've got my 4 cups of onions. I'm just going to put those just in like that. And I'm going to stir these. Hey, wait a minute. There's a root got in there. Whoop. I'm going to stir these around and just kind of get the oil on all of them. And then I'm going to put the lid on it. And then probably every little while, 10 minutes or so, I'll come back and I'll stir it. And I'm going to probably play with that thermometer thing there. So, anyway, there we go. And I'm just going to let the low and slow will really bring out the so much of the flavor and the tenderness, you know, so I'm not going to be rude to them and cook them on high. I want them to be good. So I'll see y'all back, and I'll try to keep count of how long this takes. But everyone's onions going to be a different slice. Your oil measurements are going to probably be a little different, and your whatever you're cooking them on is going to be different. This is one of the things in the kitchen. You just have to play with it, y'all. It's not an exact science. Cooking is more of a technique, and other than just an exact science. So anyway, it's enough babbling. I'll keep track of this, and I'll let y'all know. So I'll see y'all back in a little bit. Alrighty, y'all. My part is going to be, for this corn salad, gluten-free. And so I've just got my ghee. You could use butter or whatever you want to use. And I'm just going to put about yay much on my flat spoon. That's probably a tablespoon. In my iron skillet, and I've got it on about a medium. But what I'm going to do with mine, and I'm sorry about the light. I got my other tripod out. Hang on a minute. I got to get my spices. My lighted tripod is out in the garage, keeping an eye on those onions. But I'll show you a picture at the end of these crackers. And I just crumble them. No science to it, y'all. Just crumble them. And put them in my skillet. And these table crackers by Sharp, y'all, they are the best crackers I have found so far ever to use. I mean, they're great. They taste just like, to me, premium saltines. And they are wonderful. I like to crumble these up and make crust to cook my fried shrimp in, and they're great for that. So I'm just going to stir these around, get a little bit of that butter ghee business on everybody, so these spices will stick. And you can use whatever spices you want, because this is a Dorito. You know, the rest of the ingredients are the well, like the flavors of Dorito. It has a little bit of that taco seasoning. So I'm going to use some chili powder. Just about, that feels about like a half a teaspoon of chili powder. And then I've got some garlic powder. Make sure that lid's on there tight, so I don't want to dump it all out. And I'm going to probably use about the same amount. Now you could use, you know, whatever. You could tailor this to whatever you are, whatever you're making. If you're making a Mexican dish, you could use those spices. If you're using an Italian dish, you could use those. This, to me, just replaces the Ritz. I have tried Ritz crackers and Doritos for me on top of anything. This is what I use. And I have tried to find a homemade recipe for Ritz crackers. And, y'all, I'm not being successful on that. It turns out that I'm wasting good ingredients and coming up with a subpar product. I'm going to turn this fire off. That iron skillet's going to hold some heat. And to me, it's not worth wasting ingredients, especially these days with the way things are. We don't want to do that, do we? Don't want to do it. Okay, I think that looks toasty enough. And these also make a great little snack. Don't tell nobody. So I'm just going to put these in another bowl to get them all out of this iron skillet, because that'll retain heat and that'll keep cooking them, and I don't want to do that. And this is fine right here. Okie dokie. I'm going to do that, and I'll see y'all back here in a little bit. Alrighty, y'all. The onions took about 35 to 40 minutes, and they're tender. Let me show you. So they're not turned into complete mush, but they are very, very tender. And it's going to be good, y'all. Okay, so what I'm going to do to this, isn't it amazing? Those 4 onions, you remember that big thing we had? Look. You can adapt this to just use 1 onion if you just want 1 serving for yourself. It's very adaptable. But I'm going to use about a cup of sour cream. And Miss Brenda did not add salt, but I add just a scant amount of salt. I just think it, and I don't use a lot of salt, y'all, but I just like a little bit of it. But she adds pepper, so we're going to add pepper, and it's very good. There we go. And I'm just going to add just a smidge of salt. Just a little bit there. Okay, we go. I'm just going to stir this around, and this is a really, y'all, you cannot go wrong on this recipe. I have also added, if I had just a little piece of cream cheese, or one of those little tubs of whipped cream cheese that even was flavored, and you need to use up your ingredients, y'all. Don't let things go to waste. Okay, I'm not going there. Don't let things go to waste. So there we go. That's stirred up pretty decently. Let's get some of these ones on the corners stirred up. And I've got my oven preheated to 350, and I'm going to make 2 different dishes. Here, y'all hold that for me with this, because I'm going to put the gluten-free crackers on mine, and I'm going to use the Ritz crackers on his and Mother's. And I'm going to do mine in this little dish here. So let me see. I'm going to put the cheese on top. Y'all talk to yourself while you're cooking and stuff. Sometimes that's my best conversations. And even I don't even understand me sometimes, y'all. But let's just put, and I'm probably going to end up having to pour this. I was trying not to make a mess. But I'm probably going to make a mess anyway. I'm just going to do a thin layer. You can do a thick layer, a thin layer. You just want to keep your eye on it when you're got it in the oven, if you're doing it in different size layers. And you don't have to grease your pans, because this has plenty cheese. But hang on a minute, let me move this out of y'all's way. You can't see nothing. It's between the cheese and the olive, well, I keep saying olive oil. I didn't use olive oil. Avocado oil and that ghee, clarified butter that I used. It ain't going to stick to nothing, y'all. But it is going to stick to your ribs. It's going to be good. Get all that. We don't want to miss none of that. No way. No siree, Bob. Okay. I got a big mess here. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do, fresh would be best. Guess what I didn't have? I did not have fresh Parmesan, but I had the old trusty, dusty kind in the refrigerator. And it cost for about 1/4 cup. And this little lid, it will hold, between a 1/3 and a 1/4. And I'm just going to use it kind of like that. And I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. Get it in there, in those corners. You could just sprinkle it if you wanted to. You wouldn't have to go through all this. And I'll put a little bit on mine. I'll smooth that around. I don't want all those glumps in there. Kind of get it smoothed around. Okie dokie. And then I'm going to add the cheddar cheese. Where's my cheddar cheese, y'all? I grated up. Okay. All right, y'all. If it was a snake, I don't know what to tell you. I'm telling you. Okay, so I have some cheddar cheese that I grated a while ago to go with our corn salad. And this is a mild cheddar. You could use a sharp cheddar if you want to. And I just used the coarse, the big grate on the box grater. And of course, I tell y'all this all the time. You can absolutely use pre-shredded. Not a problem. It's a good product. I just like to make my own because I don't know what I'm going to do with it until I get ready to use it, because that's one of the staples that I will have in my kitchen. But I grate it on a piece of parchment paper, and then I wrap it and put it in the refrigerator until I get ready to use it. And it's never let me down. Okay, so on my little bitty baby dish, I'm going to use the gluten-free Char chips that I made to go with my corn salad. But this is, and I'll attach that video whenever I made this on the stove. So ignore when I'm talking about corn salad, okay? I just wanted to show you kind of what I'm doing. So I'm just going to sprinkle these around on the top. And on the Ritz crackers, crumble them up. Okay. This really is a pretty quick recipe to throw together, y'all. And I can tell you this. I have on more than 17 occasions had this for breakfast. It warms up so well. And the next day, I think it's really better the next day. And it's sweet, y'all. It's just makes a fine breakfast. So there we go. I'm gonna put this in the oven at 350 until they are bubbly. And I'll let you know how long that takes. And I'll see you back when this comes out of the oven. Okay, the onion casserole came out of the oven. My little one took about 20 minutes and the larger one took 35, 40 minutes. But it is wonderful. And we're just gonna get us a little sample and see what we think. And it's gonna be, I know it's gonna be very, very good. And I didn't think so. You know, I mean, I trusted Miss Brenda because she's everybody's favorite, y'all. She just really is. She's just, I don't know what we would have done during the pandemic if it hadn't been for Miss Brenda Gant. And I'm going to tip my handkerchief, headband to her. But this, y'all trust me on this. Y'all, it is so good. It is just larping. It's delicious. So, I'm going to go eat my little sample in here, and I'll see y'all next time.